Nathanson was there to watch the whole thing. Jason, thanks for checking in, ABC News entertainment correspondent. Good morning, Jason.
Absolutely. Good morning to you.
I thought Kimmel knocked it out of the ballpark last night.
Yeah, I thought he was fantastic. Those jokes about Marcia Clark. She was there. Sarah Paulson, who played her in the People vs. O.J. Simpson, brought her as her date. Jimmy Kimmel sees that. He makes some jokes. He was very good at reacting and doing a lot of things like that. One of my favorite jokes that he did, they came back from break, and the announcer comes over the intercom and says, "Please welcome four-time Emmy winner, Dr. Bill Cosby." And everybody goes, "What? Bill Cosby? He's going to present here?" And Kimmel comes out and he goes, "I just wanted to see what you guys would do." And so it was stuff like that, that's very subtle but very funny.
Let's talk about the overall picture. HBO and FX, the big winners from last night?
Yeah, FX won 18 Emmys, which is the most for any basic cable. So they're really coming up and chomping at HBO's heels here. HBO's the big winner, and it has been for a long time now. They won with Game of Thrones. They won with Veep. And then right after the FX and HBO comes Netflix with the most wins. So the three of them, the networks are nowhere to be seen. That's been the case now for a little while. But, this just really kind of hammered that home.
Why is it that the networks cannot produce what these other ones are? Is it the FCC regulations? Is it commercials? What's going on?
Yeah, that has something to do with it. The networks are looking for the broadest stuff available that appeals to the most people. They don't want to offend anyone. So that's what the shows are like. And so the shows that are winning are the ones, that they're edgy. They got, Game of Thrones, there's a lot of sex on there. There's a lot of incest on there. There's a lot of violence on there. You can't show that stuff on network. But Game of Thrones is also one of the rare shows that gets a huge audience and also wins. Like Mr. Robot, say, Rami Malek wins for that, for Best Actor in a Drama. Nobody's watching Mr. Robot. The audience is very, very low for that. It's critically acclaimed, but a lot of people aren't watching. And that's the kind of things that you would put on, USA. You can't have a show like that on NBC and win Emmys. And NBC is not winning Emmys, and neither is ABC or CBS.
Yeah. I thought Louis Anderson was an odd pick for a award last night.
That's interesting. That's one of those, when there were a lot of first timers last night. He was one of them. That FX show, that's another FX show he's on, Baskets. He plays Zach Galifianakis' mom, and he's fantastic. It's really, really funny. So I don't think that's a weird pick. I think that's a very deserving pick. If you haven't seen the show, it might seem like a weird pick, but he's very, very good on that. And that's a deserving win for a guy who's been in the game for a long time and been very funny for a long time and never won anything.
I thought it was odd that Jeffrey Tambor, who plays a transvestite, wins an award for a transsexual, and then goes up and says, we should give transgendered people roles like the one I just won for.
That's a fantastic point, because when he took this role, a lot of transgender actors and actresses were very upset with the fact that this big prominent role, an award-winning role now for a couple of years, went to somebody who is not transgender. A lot of them said that role and many roles in Hollywood should go to transgender actors and actresses. So it's great that he gets up there and says that, and I think a lot of people appreciate that, but he's been the focus of a lot of criticism on that exact thing.
Right. Do as I say, not as I do. Well, why don't you turn down the role so that a transgender person could get it?
Sure, he's reaping the benefits of it for sure right now, I think, but also one of the things this has done has brought a spotlight to something that I think a lot of people feel needs attention. So that's good. It's kind of a double-edged thing. They want these roles to go to people, but at the same time, there's a lot of people who say, well, acting is acting. You're playing something that you're not. So anybody should be able to do anything as long as the best actor or actress is doing it. That's who the role should go to.
John Oliver won for best talk show, I guess, or late night talk show, or whatever the category was. Is that because so many people love and miss Jon Stewart?
I think definitely that has a lot to do with it, because that was a category that Jon Stewart won for quite a while. I think Stephen Colbert also won that a couple times, but his show is not exactly what people want right now. And John Oliver is filling that void of doing this kind of comedy journalism thing that, only these kinds of shows do very well. And John Oliver has the added bonus of only being on once a week, so they can really dig into something, one aspect of, and really research it and be very funny about it. John Oliver's show is great. It also goes viral, which is one of the things you need to do these days to cut through. The next morning, on a Monday morning after John Oliver's show, you see that segment tweeted over and over. It's on Facebook. So, that's one of the things you need to do these days to cut through all these great TV shows that are on TV and streaming and everything else.
Jason Nathanson stayed up late and got up early for us. Jason, thanks for checking in.
Anytime.